welcome back to Unicorn Dust Designs. My name is Sammy. If you're new to this channel, thank you for taking a chance and clicking on me. I promise you won't regret it. Maybe you will. I don't know. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But anyways, let's go ahead and get straight into these cabinet door DIYs.
For this first cabinet door, we are going to use a cabinet door spray paint. We're going to decoupage and use this blessed cutout. So my friend gave me this cutout door and it was a little glossy and I wanted it matte. So we're going to spray paint it with chalked spray paint by Rust-Oleum. And then I am going to take the blessed cutout after sanding it. I got this at Michael's, I believe, and spray painted that beautiful blue color. Next, we're going to take it inside the craft room. And I'm going to take these Pioneer Woman napkins. These are absolutely gorgeous. I think I got them on clearance last summer. And I am going to cut all of that white out of the napkin. Now, I mean, you don't have to get too particular because your background is white on this cabinet door, but y'all know me. So I got as close to the image as I could and then cut the bulk of the white out of our napkin. You also need to take the other ply of the napkin out if it's a 2-ply, and I suggest doing that before you start cutting. It'll make it a lot easier. Next, I'm going to take some matte Mod Podge and I am going to coat the corner I'm going to place our napkin on. I'll put a little bit on the napkin so it doesn't curl up on me, and then I'm going to place it on there. Now this goes into the grooves of this cabinet door so beautifully. I mean, I love it. It almost looks like a transfer. But anywho, so I am going to pat this on. Do not rub, I was going to say paper towels, napkins or tissue paper when decoupaging, because then you run the risk of ripping your image. So I will say I would apply your Mod Podge, apply your napkin, wait for that to dry, and then apply the top coat versus how I did it here. So I'm going to do the opposite side on the bottom. Easy peasy. I just love the way this looks. It looks like it was made to be a part of this cabinet door. It's so beautiful. Okay. So after I'm done applying it to the napkins, I realized that the Mod Podge, you know how even though it says matte, it kind of comes out glossy and you can see the outline of where I put that Mod Podge. So I ended up having to coat the entire cabinet door, which, I mean, it is what it is, and it ended up, clearing the paint. So it all worked out. Anywho, look at how beautiful. It even has a little bit of texture on it. Oh, I love this. It turned out beautiful. Okay, this was my old craft room in our house. So now I'm going to take these daubers from Hobby Lobby. They come in, I think, 3 sizes in a pack. And I am just going to dab this on the smaller part of our cabinet door. It looked exactly like the napkin. It was crazy. I mean, even the colors matched the napkins to a T. So after we're done with that, I'm going to take these D hooks, and this cabinet door was so heavy. I don't know what it was used for, but it had some weight to it. So I made sure to use my bigger D hooks that hold up to 50 pounds. D hooks are also just easier to attach to things, in my opinion anyways. And then taking our blessed cutout, I am getting some E6000. I will also get hot glue later. And what I'm doing is I'm going back and forth because I'm trying to figure out what part of these letters is actually going to hit the cabinet door. And then once I figure that out, I get my hot glue. I'll put a little bit of that on just to get that immediate hold out of this and apply it. And you guys, seriously, this is still in my booth and it's been well over a year, and I'm kind of shocked because I think this is absolutely beautiful. So I just let that set up, and then this is how it comes out. Look at that. Oh, and there goes Hank, you guys. Never a dull moment. Okay, so let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Sorry if your dogs are going crazy right now, but look at how much this matches the napkin. Like the colors are to a T.
All right, you guys, I hope you liked that first cabinet door DIY. Don't forget, you can find cabinet doors at garage sales, yard sales, Habitat for Humanity. There is also Facebook Marketplace, which is probably the #1 place you want to look. So don't think you can't get your hands on these. I absolutely love cabinet doors. I have a whole stash in my garage, so you'll probably be seeing more from me soon. And you guys, you know the drill. If you're digging me, if you're digging the DIYs, if you are digging the channel, then make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, because it's a free way you could help your girl out. And if you want more of me, of this, I do have a vlog channel. That link is down in the description box, and you'll see more about my family, the new baby, and all of that stuff. So make sure to check the links down below. And you guys, let's go ahead and get back into these beautiful DIYs.
All right, do not fear. Nobody was trying to break into my home. It was only the Amazon truck. So I'm going to take this cabinet door, and this one's going to be super easy because I am not painting it. I loved this gorgeous, worn out, like brown, yellow, cream color. So I am just taking LA's Awesome. Make sure you dilute it. I'm going to clean it up, not even going to sand it. And I'm going to apply those same D-hooks that I used in the previous one. I do have my D-hooks in my Amazon store link for y'all. I use them on my wood rounds, shelving, I mean, pretty much everything I make. They're just easy. All right. Next, I made this beautiful saying, deep breath, your home. And I am just using the Oracle 651 permanent vinyl. Since I am doing this directly onto a wood cabinet, I liked to use the permanent vinyl. Now taking a sponge, a makeup sponge is what I was trying to say, and plaster, I'm going to go ahead and dab that on. It's kind of crazy because this is an older video that, like, as you kind of progress through being a crafter, how your style changes and your preferences change, because now I would never reach for a makeup sponge, but I know a lot of people do. But now I prefer using a stencil brush over this. So I just thought it was crazy looking back on these past videos how I've evolved as a crafter. All right, so now we'll go ahead and pull that off. Oh my gosh, so rewarding when you do not have one single bleed on there and everything comes out super sharp and clean. You can also clear this with polyacrylic, spar urethane, even just like a clear matte by Rust-Oleum spray paint, since it's going to be inside. All right, so now we take these knobs. Now let me tell you guys, Hobby Lobby knobs are absolutely redunculous. I cannot talk today. But the screws on these suckers are abnormally long. Like, I do not know what would ever be this thick that you would need a screw this long for one of these. So my husband had to screw some holes in it. Then we even had to use a countersink tool because he was trying to stay in frame here the best he could. But we put it through. The screws are like way too long. So he had to use one of his tools to cut the screw down. Then these knobs came with like bolts to tighten. So that's why we had to use the countersink tool. It was just a process. So just beware if you're buying like your accessories from Hobby Lobby that are knobs or handles, that they aren't the easiest to use, because like, look at how long that was. That's insane. Because they're just weird and long. So I've learned my lesson, and I usually buy stuff on Amazon. All right, so after that is done, he ends up putting 3 total in, And then maybe, there we go. Look at how cute that is. And I love how this cabinet door turned out. This saying, deep breath, your home, is just such a perfect way to like for a kid to set their backpack down, or, you know, if you're working crazy hours to come home, hang your stuff up and like read that and just like know like, oh, you're right, I am home. So I thought this was a great way to utilize one of these cabinet doors, and I hope you like it as well. I just wanted to remind everybody that I do have a membership now. The link is down in the description box for you if you want to find out more information on that. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comments. All right, so for this one, whenever you are dealing with like cabinet doors or anything wood, make sure you clean it first, like with a crud cutter. Then you would sand it down. You would clean it again. And then as I've, done this a little bit more, I would buy a shellac and spray it on there. That way you don't have any of the tannins or the old dirt coming through your white paint. So right here, I am just taking my Linen White by Rust-Oleum. I'm going to give this 2 coats of chalk paint, and I'm just using my chalk brush, but I mean, no, I think I switched, to the chip brush because that's my jam. But after we're done with that, we're going to take this inside. I'm going to use my Aura Mask 813 stencil vinyl. And then this is another time where I use the makeup sponge. So I don't know what was my deal with that, but I obviously enjoyed it. Now, I will say, I did have a lot of bleeds on this because I used that chip brush. It left brush strokes in the paint, which allowed the paint to go underneath my stencil and bleed. So highly recommend sanding and cleaning that off and then applying your stencil. So I'm going to go ahead and weed that off. And like I said, I did have some bleeds, but no biggie, no biggie. You just work with it. I know if you're somebody that's like first starting off with stenciling, it is like the most frustrating thing in the entire world. And we are our own worst critics, but you just got to go with the flow when you are crafting. All right, now I'm going to take some of that black, and then I am just dry brushing this around, just giving it more of a dimension, bringing out the inner frame part. And then I am going to take, again, these are going to be handles from Hobby Lobby. Look at how pretty that is. You could even just hang this up and be done with it. Oh, sorry, no. Now I'm going to clear it, and I'm actually using matte clear by Rust-Oleum, and this is a great clear if you are working with projects or signs that will be inside your home and not outside. All right, so again, Hobby Lobby accessories, the screws were like crazy long, so I had to have my husband help me once again. He pre-drilled holes on the sides, and I was not going to give up because these handles were like so beautiful. And he used that countersink tool again so that the screws sit inside the holes and not on the outside. And he's just going to put the screws through, maybe any day now. All right, here we go. Screws through. We got our handles. He's going to tighten those up. And then we just do the same thing for the opposite side. And now you have yourself a tray that we've made out of a cabinet door. So you guys, you can pick up cabinet. Look at how beautiful those are. Oh my gosh. And this, I posted it on my Facebook, and it like my girlfriend bought it right away. Oh, one more thing. I wanted to cover those screws. So I got some cork and covered that up. You could also get those felt like little round pieces from Dollar Tree as well. But yeah, you guys can get cabinet doors from like Habitat for Humanity, some thrift stores, but your best bet is probably going to be garage sales or Facebook Marketplace. People that like flip homes or do construction and stuff like that, they're more likely to, post that they have it available, and you never wait on free stuff. You got to go right away or you're definitely going to miss out. So I hope you enjoyed this cabinet door tray.
All right, look at me all up in my garage. I have some space. All right, so we're gonna start off with this cabinet door. You can find cabinet doors on Facebook Marketplace, Habitat for Humanity, things like that are great places to find these doors. So I'm using my Skill sander. I like this one because it has a pointed top, so it really gets great into the corners, up against edges. And then I'm gonna go in with my orbital sander. And why I'm sanding this is, one, I'm getting all that debris off of there, all that old crusty stuff. And I wanna take off the first layer that is glossy on this so we have a nice smooth finish. So for those of you who have not seen me do DIYs with these cabinet doors yet, funny story, I found them on Facebook Marketplace and I contacted the gentleman. It was like $15 for free. And I was like, okay, where's pickup? And he says, oh, so-and-so funeral home. And right away I was all, what? Are these like the samples for the different caskets you offer? Like, how creepy. But you know what? It was for free. So your girl picked it up, of course. And then I get there and it turns out that he used to be a cabinet maker and then ended up taking the family business, which was the funeral home. He took it over. So it was so funny. Obviously your girl will do anything for free items, like go to a funeral home. I mean, shoot, it's okay. It's free, right? Okay, so anyways, off with that story. Now finishing this up, I'm gonna go ahead and grab some simple green. There is a lady, her name is Bree. I'm gonna link her channel up above right here in the cards. And I just found her. She does a lot of upcycling and she cleans all of her furniture pieces off with Crud Cutter before painting, which is what I need to do. So keep that in mind. So right here, I'm just taking a toothbrush, getting in all those nooks and crannies in this frame, making sure I get all the dirt out, and then I'm just going to wipe it off, let it dry. And then I'm in here, I am taking Rust-Oleum Linen White Chalk Paint. I'm just getting those edges, especially the corners, because this sponge roller is amazing. It has a flat edge to it. And so it gets up really great against like the sides of things. So although it was getting good there, it wasn't getting in the corners very well. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 3 coats of this white. Y'all, for some reason I cut the second part of this frame or this video out of like me making this, which just makes me so upset. But yeah, okay, well, Sammy, let's just get on with it. Okay, I'll tell you which part I cut out. So I am doing the second and third layer on this. Now I'm gonna grab some painter's tape, and this is the part I accidentally left off. So after I apply the painter's tape to this, there's like an inside frame right here that I'm trying to tape off. And I do the baking soda with steel gray, and I paint the inside frame that color because I wanted it to have a lot of texture. I wanted that concrete look. Here we go. I don't know how I cut that out of my video, but I do show you the white part. So just hang in there with me. So I got pretty clean lines here. When I took the tape off, it left some like crusties, so I just dust that off with our paintbrush. And now I'm going to just go in, gotta clean up that workspace. So now I'm gonna take the Rust-Oleum Linen White, I'm gonna take the baking soda. Now the baking soda, this was my first time ever playing around with baking soda, so I don't think I added as much as I should, but I was still happy with the texture it left me. So I'm just mixing it. I did equal parts. And I like it. It came out like, it almost has like a cement texture, like a pavement texture to it. And I'm sure you get more the more you add to it. But I just went around with my brush. I applied it just like you would paint. I just smoothed it over back and forth. Now I will say, because I wasn't getting like a ton of texture that I was looking for on this, I end up, you know how on chalk paint, when it's semi-dry, like it's almost to the dry point, and then you go to put another coat on it and it kind of like drags up that first coat? Well, that's what I did here. I got in with a second coat, like when it was almost dry, and it started kind of like
cooling it and giving it more texture, it almost looked like chipped paint almost. You can't see it in the frame, but it absolutely looks so gorgeous. So there's my hunka burning love giving me a kiss. Okay, now I made this stencil on my Cricut. Unfortunately, this is way too big. I don't know how to ship it out, or else I would add it to my Etsy shop. But I'm using Oral Mask 813 stencil vinyl. And then I'm going to go in, I'm going to tape off all my edges so we don't make any mistakes. And then, okay, well, I'll take my transfer tape off first. And then taking that same sponge roller, we are going to do 2 coats over this. Nice thin coats. Now this ended up bleeding on me a little, which I knew was going to happen because the texture of the cabinet door was not very smooth. But that's okay because I didn't want it to look polished and, you know, all fancy schmancy. I wanted it to look like it was worn and rustic. That's totally my vibe. So after 2 coats, we peel this off. This is seriously like my favorite. And I think it's just the saying. It says our home, our life, our story, our love, our children, our dreams. This is us. And I absolutely love it. Love this. I cannot wait to put it in the home. So we're going to go ahead and weed all those little bits and pieces out. I don't know why I keep on like with this weird accent right now. I don't know. It's not a weird accent. It's just, why am I doing it? Oh, it's probably because I was talking to Kathy Joe. Thanks, Kathy Joe. I'll leave her channel up above too and in my description box. So now I'm just taking my mini like distressing brush by Plaid, and I am distressing the edges on the outside to really bring that texture up at you. I wanted it to pop out at you, and it totally did the job. Then I am taking the white and distressing the gray a little bit. And I did that because it had so many lines in it that I really wanted to stand out. And this is how it came out. Do you see? I'm trying to, it's hard because it's so bright, but it did add this beautiful texture. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. If you can get your hands on cabinet doors, grab some because they are amazing for making signs. And I'll prop this up on our hall tree.
Whoa, wild woman. That's what happens when you change your shirt a million bajillion times. Okay. But I'm somebody's shot of whiskey. Oh, okay.